teammates. Welcome to the Live Well podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jen Collins.
And I'm Seth Christopher. Welcome to the Well.
Hey, Seth.
Hello, Jen. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantabulous. How are you?
Fantastic. Looking forward to talking about all of our material today.
We have a really great topic today, all about open enrollment. So excited to dig in.
Yes, we are going to find a way, believe it or not, to make this the most exciting show to date about a topic always near and dear to everyone's heart. And we're going to tell you a little bit about why it should be.
That's right. And open enrollment is a great time for everyone to take a look at what Atrium Health has to offer. Even if you know what you want, still go in and follow what we're going to talk about today so that you can make your elections for 2021. Are you ready to get into it?
Yes, Jen. You know what will make everyone's election decision a lot easier?
What's that?
Starting with some fast facts.
Oh, let's do it.
All right. Fast fact. Open enrollment, teammates, starts Tuesday, October 20th, and will run through Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. And remember, just for the best experience, complete the open enrollment process to enroll in benefits of your choice for 2021. Fast fact, to complete the open enrollment process, look for the open enrollment link on your HR, that's your HR, and on the 2021 compensation and benefits site. Fast fact, teammates hired in September or October of this year, so that's September, October 2020, will enroll in benefits for 2020 at that time, and will also complete open enrollment for the 2021 benefits. So for those teammates that just had the privilege of joining us in September, October, you get to double down for the rest of this year and also for 2021. So be on the lookout. Fast facts. You can review benefits eligibility, the enrollment checklist, and 2021 benefits info on the 2021 compensation and benefits site. And we're going to place that in today's notes, and that's something that you'll also see coming out in a lot of emails in the coming weeks. Fast fact. To help in your health plan choice, utilize the 2021 Health Plan Decision Support Tool. This is also going to be on the 2021 compensation and benefits site. Jen, this is a great tool, not something I was ever familiar with before coming to Atrium. They make it easy for you. You put in some information, they give you a suggestion on what plan might be best for our teammate. Fast fact, teammates, prior to submitting your final benefit elections in the open enrollment process, review and print your elections just for your records. Better safe than sorry. Fast fact, review your pay stubs in January 2021 to confirm your open enrollment benefit elections are reflected accurately. And then fast fact, throwing this one out there for any questions that you have on open enrollment and benefits, call the HR Service Center at 704-631-1500, or you can email hrbenefitsonline@atriumhealth.org. We're also going to put those resources in the show notes for you too to make it as simple as possible.
Those were some great fast facts. So many that you have for us today. Open enrollment is such a great, huge topic with so many little minutia things that people need to be aware of.
Well, these are decisions that set you up for next year. So sometimes it's hard to see so far in advance and know what you need. So the decision tools are such a great resource for answering those questions and helping you to be most prepared. And then, of course, as I alluded to, we've got a guest today that's going to help us understand some of the other benefit selections or elections that are available, just to help you to make the best possible choice as you look towards the future.
I can't wait to hear what our guest has to say. It's going to be really great information coming from him. But I'm so glad you brought up about the decision support tool. It's a great idea. 2020 has been a little bit strange, I guess some could say. And
Some have said that.
It's a little strange. So you really want to look at, kind of what was your medical spend in 2020? And then, maybe you had some things planned that didn't happen. So you need to push those to 2021. So think about what you're going to need your medical plan to do for you, but then also plan for a rainy day. So, because sometimes we have those days.
And then sometimes we have the very sunshiny days that make it all worthwhile.
That's right. So I have some myths. We're also going to do some myth busters for open enrollment. You ready for this?
Let's bust some myths.
All right. Myth number 1. If I have a qualifying life event, which would include marriage, divorce, birth, or adoption of a child, dependent gain, or if a dependent loses their insurance, I am allowed to move from one Live Well health plan to another. So the fact is no. The only time a teammate can move from one health plan to another is during the open enrollment period. A qualifying life event would allow changes to the coverage type, such as teammate only going to teammate and child, or from family to teammate only. So you can't change actual plans, but you can change types within the plan. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. So simply, if I choose the high deductible plan during open enrollment this year, any qualifying life event changes that occur next year can be made, but they will be made within that specific high deductible plan, not moving or migrating to another plan.
That's exactly right. So if, because things sometimes the dependent may get some insurance through the year and you want to drop them off, or maybe you have a baby and you want to add them on. So, all right, myth number 2. If I have a change in coverage from individual to family or from family to individual in the middle of the year, the incentives I've earned will adjust accordingly. It's a great question, great myth. The answer is no. This is not correct. Incentives earned and paid prior to a change in coverage will not be adjusted up or down for the new coverage. Any incentives earned after the coverage change will be paid at the current coverage level. So it's really important for teammates to understand regarding the incentives and the plan that you have and if something's going to change. Myth number 3, I can still contribute to my health savings account since I still have a balance if I move to the copay plan. This is a great myth. The answer to this is no. The IRS regulations allow for contributions to a health savings account only if you were enrolled in a high deductible consumer directed health plan. So if you have the health savings account plan today and you still have a balance and you're going to choose to move to the copay plan for 2021, you can still use the money in that health savings account. You just can no longer contribute to that health savings account. So again, important to know as you're making your decisions. Myth number 4. I don't need to check or update beneficiaries on my life insurance and retirement accounts. We're going to talk about this, I think, a little bit later, but this is a really, really great myth. We absolutely need to check your beneficiaries. Every year we need to take a look and make sure that nothing has changed. We used to make a joke when I worked in insurance where you don't want the old wife getting what the new wife should get. So things change in our beneficiaries, so make sure that everything is up to date. How can you change? So follow the steps to designate or update beneficiaries for your life insurance, health savings account, and Atrium Health retirement plan that is outlined on the Update Your Beneficiaries page in the 2021 Compensation and Benefits site. This you can update as often as needed. You don't need to do this during an open enrollment period. However, open enrollment is a great time to take just inventory of everything that needs to be done.
Great point. Something that isn't always top of mind 12 months out of the year, much less the several weeks that we have slotted for open enrollment and we're talking about it. But this is extremely important, teammates. Make sure that you're designating your beneficiaries for your accounts. Important to help and to secure your family's financial health, your own financial health, securing stress from having to make these decisions, and really putting yourself in a position to be successful later on down the road, and hopefully much further down the road than in a short pathway here. So thank you for bringing that up, and that sounds like a myth that's worth busting.
Absolutely. And just on that, just to piggyback off of what you just said with the financial health and just making decisions and looking, make sure teammates that you check out our additional benefits that Atrium Health offers. There are things like You can get legal assistance, pet insurance. There's all different types of additional benefits that you want to take advantage of, and just see hospital admissions, that type of thing. So there's lots of benefits that Atrium Health offers our teammates to offset cost for going to the doctor or having procedures.
All right, great information in that section, Jen. So speaking of great offerings, great things that are available for teammates, all things total rewards, we've got a special guest today, Jen.
We do. Do you want to tell our listeners who it is?
Drum roll, please. So today we are going to be visited by Scott Laws. Scott Laws is the Vice President of Total Rewards here at Atrium Health. And he's here to have a great conversation about all things total rewards, teammates, and then setting ourselves up to be successful down the road. Scott, welcome to the Well.
Hey, Seth, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here and join you guys today.
We are very excited to have you here as well.
Yes, thank you for taking time to come on with us today.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Any chance I get to talk a little bit about the total rewards space and shine a light on what we have for teammates, I'm willing to jump in and do it. So this is a real treat for me.
Awesome. Great information we're talking about today, Scott. But let's start there. You talked about total rewards and being here at Atrium Health. It's been quite the year, and I know that you've been a big part of a lot of the great things that we've done and provided for the teammates. So maybe just give us some information on what has happened this year and how we at Atrium Health are taking a stand for the teammates.
Well, I mean, thanks for that, Seth. It has been a whirlwind year, and I don't have to tell everyone that. I'll tell you what stands out to me is just how Atrium Health has wrapped arms around teammates and put teammates first. That's been so clear to me through the last year, or at least March. It seems like a year, even though it's not quite been a year. From things like offering teammates additional PTO if needed, advancing it in times of strain and stress on their family, making sure we had pay for teammates while they were having to be tested or quarantined, and before they were ready to return to work. I mean, those were major investments and just the right thing to do. And so I am so proud of the organization for doing that. Just thinking about the advancement of the Performance Plus incentive, making sure we could get those funds in teammates' hands faster this year, because we know it's just been a very challenging year to figure out real life problems. Families are trying to figure out how to deal with childcare, education, transportation. There's so much new to solve for, and Atrium has done a tremendous job just wrapping arms around people. So for that, I am truly thankful.
Scott, I'm one man on a microphone here, but I know I speak for a large majority of teammates, and we're so thankful to have you as a part of this organization, but also just a great commitment to the teammates, especially during this time where it seems like there is no normal. We talk about getting to a new normal, but it's constantly shifting. So to have that level of support, I know it means a lot to me. Jen, I know it means a lot to you, but it's just an amazing place to be. So we are also #Atrium proud.
Well, thanks for that. I didn't mention it before, but the other thing that comes to my mind is just this is not a sprint. We're in a marathon. This is not going to stop the COVID environment for a while. And what really excites me is the number of resources and tools and advancements we're making in being able to provide the ability to improve your resilience, go after behavioral health and support of just the anxiety that folks are facing. So I think that's a really important space to be in. And I think we're doing a lot of good work as an organization to advance in that space.
I think it just shows how great our Atrium leadership is, that they look beyond just the work environment, looking into mental health, looking into childcare. And I love what you're saying about wrapping arms around our teammates. There's just so much there. And I mean, Seth stole he always is Atrium, #Atrium proud. I was going to try to beat him to it, but he got there first.
Not this time, Jen. And it's amazing, you know, as part of Live Well and part of Total Rewards and part of the Atrium Health family, you know, there's a lot that goes on in providing those contributions and being a part of the Total Rewards family and having the honor to serve teammates in whatever capacity. You know, we mentioned Total Rewards, Scott, but you know, for listeners not totally familiar with how we do things at Atrium Health, or you know, outside of just the great things that have been provided in the last couple of months, what exactly is Total Rewards like at Atrium Health?
Yeah, you know, I think one way to describe Total Rewards, the way I think about it, is we are all about how do we attract and retain the talent that's out there who wants to be a part of the organization. How do we put things together that make it worth being here? You know, if you can talk about employer of choice, you can talk about what motivates you to come to work and do your best every day. You know, that's kind of what Total Rewards is. It's how do we create a space and an offering that folks are just energized about and they want to be a part of. So, you know, think about it like this. People are at various places in their lives. Always, there's new to the workforce. I've been in my career for a while. I'm getting close to retirement. You know, there's life stages. I'm having a family. I'm becoming an empty nester. There's so many different places to point to, and Total Rewards is about how do we meet people where they are in those life stages, in those career stages, and provide a suite of offerings that make sense for the situation they're in the moment. Now, we can't be all things to everyone, but what we strive for is a robust suite of offerings that we can wrap around any of those stages that I just described.
That's really amazing. Like lots of awesome things going on, lots of things that we're all working to. And I think you hit the nail on the head. You said life stages and career stages, and how we meet our teammates and their families along the way. I think that's just really powerful stuff. I know I get a strong sense of coming to work every day and being able to be a part of that. Scott, I know you do too. You're someone who really digs into your work, and I know this has a lot of meaning to you.
Yeah, you know, thanks for that, Seth. I spent most of my career in retail and joined healthcare about 6 years ago. And I'll tell you, the similarities are amazing. The differences are amazing. But I'll tell you this, what I find joy in is, you know, when you're in retail and you're sort of on the front line in operations, it's day-to-day wins. You know, you're excited when you can get something done in the day. The work we do takes a long time. It may take a year for an idea or longer to come to fruition, but when it does, it touches, you know, 30,000 lives. And for me, that's the motivator. That's what drives me and where I find joy in the work we do.
Lots of joy. We always talk about finding what makes you happy here. Scott, very happy to hear that you are finding joy in not just your work, but your work that provides for so many people here at Atrium Health. So thank you for sharing that. I know oftentimes as a leader, it's hard to have that platform. So we're glad that you're able to share that here with us for sure.
So tell us, Scott, what else is going on as far as open enrollment? We've been talking a little bit about that, and it's coming up very quickly. Anything in particular that teammates need to make sure that they're aware of as we go into this year's open enrollment season?
Yeah, there's a few things. First it would be, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that we heard teammates loud and clear a little over a year ago. And we heard that message for a while, but it really became clear to us a little over a year ago that the fact that we had not offered choice in health plans was just something that our teammates weren't happy with, and they were desperately seeking another option. And so we've had 2 health plans available now for a year. We're continuing that journey. I think you'll find teammates will find very little change in how the health plans are constructed and the types of benefits that they have available to them. When I think about open enrollment, I know the natural reaction is to go to health coverage or dental or vision. But really, I look at open enrollment as a time to just pause and take inventory of where you are in your life. We talked about life stages. We talked about career stages. This is the time to just stop for a moment, maybe rewind across the last year and say, what's changed in my life? And then if there have been significant changes in my life, what should I be thinking about differently as I go into the enrollment process? So I'll give you an example. Every year, a teammate can increase an increment of their life insurance without having to go through any type of physical or evidence of being insurable. That sounds like a small thing, but being able to provide for your family, long term is a huge burden lifted off of teammates' minds. And so, it's a little bit of a somber thought, but your family will appreciate that should they ever need it.
That is an awesome point. And I think I agree. I think so much of the time we think, okay, I got to make my new medical and dental elections, but it is much bigger than that. Even voluntary benefits, but just taking time to read all the great information that Total Rewards and it has put out. I have my handy dandy mailer here that I've been looking through. It's very nice put together. I love the way that it looks, and it's very easy to read.
Well, thank you. We want to be able to, like I said, meet people where they are. So the information is available online if you prefer digital through the People Connect site, or we have some mailers that have hit households just to make it easier on everyone. We had a wonderful gift really from one of our vendors who offered us the ability to provide healthcare power of attorney services for folks, and also just a chance to put some things in place in your life that you just don't think about normally. Now's the time. Now's the time to think about those things. Now's the time to say, what's different? What's different today, and what's going on tomorrow that maybe I need to start thinking about now. We really have expanded our offerings to families and really started to wrap a full suite of support around parents. Whether you are adopting, whether you are adding a new child to your family or plan to do so, there's lots of support in that space. So think about it.
Scott, I'm really glad you brought up obviously all the resources here, but for me as a parent with young kids, and as you're thinking about meeting teammates where they are, making sure that your job is kind of helping to engineer to meet people in their unique situations. I think back to when I first entered the workforce, and hopefully we all can. life insurance policies, healthcare power of attorney. These weren't things that I was thinking about, but they are top of mind this year for me and my wife and my family, because it's become a little bit more important to consider, and it's extremely important for the longevity of my family. And speaking to the difference of stages, now more important than ever.
Yeah, I'll share a personal story, Seth, if we have time. And I think life insurance and the things that you just described, those are some of the things that, in my experience, you think differently about depending on events that you've experienced in your life. So I'll be pretty open and share. My dad passed when he was 55. He had leukemia, diagnosed at 53, passed at 55. I was a kid. I was 25, 26 years old. And at the time, I didn't understand the gravity of the power of life insurance. But, fast forward 30 years later, right, or almost 30 years later, I'm dating myself. I watched my mom try to figure out how to put that together for the rest of her life, right? So 20 some odd years trying to figure out how she was going to make it work financially. His generation, or his upbringing, my father's I'm speaking about, they weren't life insurance people. They didn't think about it like that. So I watched that real time. And one of the things that I learned was just how important it is to set your family up in the event something unexpected happens.
That's powerful. That's a powerful story. Thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure.
So a lot of things to consider with open enrollment, a lot of serious things to consider. We talked a little bit about the benefits that are available for teammates that are on a Live Well health plan, but as part of Total Rewards, Scott, I know you do a great job of helping the teams to build out some additional options that are available for teammates that aren't necessarily engaged in the Live Well health plan. Can you maybe spend a little bit of time telling us about those options?
Yeah, I would love to. And I think to do that, I want to zoom out just a minute and say, we have been on a journey, especially over the last year and a half, to find new and innovative ways to reach teammates where they are. And so I'll just take the Live Well arm of Rewards as an example. Live Well has been really an institution here at Atrium Health for approaching 15 years. And the program has won amazing awards. The pioneers in that space built something pretty phenomenal. As we got into the end of last year, beginning of this year, it became really, really evident that if we were going to experience the same type of success, we had to start thinking differently about how to do that work. So we were really focused on how do we take all the wonderful things that we were doing and figure out how to do it on a digital platform that really made it available to every teammate, wherever they are, any time of the day. So for example, stress and resilience programs, being able to get an app immediately on your phone, being able to go out and see a webcast or a podcast like this one and get information. Those were things that we really, while we all times that we had in the Live Well space, I think the growth strategy, the need for a safe environment, and the need to meet people where they are any time of day has really helped us think differently and been a platform for change.
Yeah, that's a great point, Scott, because we did a lot of work when everybody went remote. We were already starting to change things up. And then when COVID hit, we had to take a really good, hard, quick look at the program and see what can we move quickly to give people the support and help them to live well.
Yes, said so well. And I guess, hey, you guys should be congratulated. I've just heard or recently saw that the business group on health awarded you guys the Platinum Award as one of the best employers in excellence in health and well-being. So that's an amazing accomplishment. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, the team worked really hard. That was a big, robust application with lots of moving parts. So the team, it worked hard. It's a well-deserved award. But thank you for bringing that up.
Thanks, Scott. Definitely a reflection of the work that goes in for the teammates too. So very happy to be a part of it. Yeah,
that's great. You know, the other thing I would sort of add to that, Seth, and going back to your original question, you know, what are the things should we be thinking about or calling out in this space that's for all teammates? I'm really proud of the work that was done to simplify these programs. You know, we had a pretty complex set of I'll call them hoops to jump through, for lack of a better term, for some of the programs we had and incentives we had. And there was reason for that, but I think this new environment and what I described in terms of our growth strategy, you know, meeting people where they are, safe environments to do this, and we really had to pull it back, simplify it, make it easier, less hoops to jump through, and just much more focused programming. And I think we've accomplished that. So I'll give you guys credit for that as well. Really good job.
Thanks, Scott. Again, just a part of the team effort. For teammates looking towards 2021, the program's not going to change a whole lot for Live Well. We'll still be able to provide that on-demand digital access that you're becoming more accustomed to, and the simplification that, Scott, that you're kind of talking through right now. But before we let you go, Scott, really appreciate your time, taking the opportunity to discuss all things Total Rewards, but really all things Atrium Health and teammates. Before we let you go, just want to ask one last question. What's one piece of advice or one thing that you would like for teammates to know, or that you would recommend for teammates to know?
Wow, just one?
Just one. We can always have you back for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, I'll leave you with this. There's one piece of advice that I remember getting when I was just starting out in my career, and I'm going back a lot of years, but I had a boss who looked at me and said, "Hey, whatever you do, start saving for retirement." And he said, even if it's 1%, 2% of your earnings, and he said, there's one thing that you cannot get back, and that's time. And that resonated with me. So, you know, if you're just getting started, I would say nothing's too small in terms of how much to try to save to start out. And I know this is in a tough environment to save in, but you know, now's the time to do it, because there is no way to get time back. That's what I learned.
That's amazing. That is a really great advice to end this on. Scott, thank you so much for being on The Well today. You are a wealth of knowledge, and I think our teammates will find this to be very informative and helpful.
Well, hey, I really appreciate you guys inviting me. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to spend a little time with you. You guys are doing amazing work. You are rock stars at what you do, and I just appreciate all that you've done, will do, and giving me a platform to share some thoughts.
Seth, we have the best guests here on The Well. And I think every time we have a guest, I always say that was a great interview. But this interview was so heartfelt and just really compassionate is what I took away from this.
Agreed. And as a teammate who has a small part of providing for teammates in our roles, Jen, to think about what Scott and what his leadership team, what they work to do is provide everything that they can for teammates, and especially this year, the pressure's been on, but also when we think about the benefits and the best possible options to keep teammates engaged in their own health and well-being, it's very humanizing to hear that our leadership feels that way and is ready to open up and just be there to support and make the best decisions possible. So I feel assured, I'm sure, hopeful that our teammates felt that as well through that conversation.
Absolutely. And, the Atrium Health mission is not just words on a paper, words on a web page. Our leadership live it every day. And that's just been so obvious through 2020. Such a blessing to be a part of this organization.
Hashtag Atrium Health proud. Did it again.
That's it. All right. Such a great topic today. So much to talk about.
I agree. So, Jen, what did we learn today?
First and foremost, as we just said, we learned that Atrium leadership cares deeply about our teammates. We learned that open enrollment is a time to pause and reflect on what your health and benefit needs may be for the coming year. Keep in mind, open enrollment is October 20th through November 3rd, and everyone should make their elections during this time. Atrium is offering 2 health plans, the Health Savings Plan and the Copay Plan. If you are unsure on which is right for you, use that decision support tool on the benefit site, which is found within the teammate site.
And we're going to include all those great resources to the tool, to the benefits and compensation site, and then general information in the show notes. So be on the lookout for that as well, teammates. One of the most striking things I think I learned today, just listening to Scott talk about setting ourselves up with the retirement and just trying to give yourself a little bit more every year, trying to make those elections, if it's 1%, 2%, 3%, Atrium Health offers a pretty generous match once you get there. But for those of you just entering the workforce, been in the workforce for a long time, or if you're on the back end, ready to call it in about 5 to 6 years, just try and put a little bit forth every year. Can make a huge difference. And I know, Jen, that's definitely not something that was on my radar when I first entered the workforce X amount of years ago. And something that's extremely important now. And it's because of advice from like Scott gave and people like Scott who genuinely care and can provide that perspective of mentorship and making those decisions now to benefit down the road that we don't always see.
Definitely. I mean, his comments actually made me do some introspection as well. And just kind of once we get to open enrollment, I'll be looking and seeing what I can do better for my family and my future. So
it's kind of like what we talk about with exercise. Just do a little bit more. Just do a little bit more. Something's better than nothing.
That's exactly right. Love that analogy. Well, I have something to share with you. We have a hashtag I Live Well story. We've been calling for those. We've been asking teammates to send them in, and I have one to share. Vanessa Titus is a managed care senior specialist contractor and payer relations teammate. January 2020, Vanessa found herself weighing around 197 pounds, and a number that she really did not want to see again. She kicked off her weight loss by making diet changes for 21 days. She used MyFitnessPal to count calories and maintained an appropriate calorie deficit through changes in her diet as well as increasing her exercise. One of the keys that she found that helped her was to not keep unhealthy foods in the house because she knew she was a late night snacker. She enjoyed a variety of snacks, including berries with vegan whipped cream and strawberries with dark chocolate hummus to kind of help that sweet tooth. She was about 20 pounds down by the time Charlotte had its first confirmed COVID case and she started working from home. She explains it could have been easy for her to fall back into old habits being home all day, but since the weight was falling off, she felt very motivated by her results. Cutting sugar from her diet drastically reduced her cravings, making it easier to remain on track. She began her journey on January 20th, and on June 5th, she reached her initial goal. She lost 47 pounds in 4.5 months, when before she had struggled to lose 15 pounds for the last 10 years. The difference, she explains, was determination and holding herself accountable. No cheating and no excuses. Realizing that this is a lifestyle change and not a diet, she continues to exercise and measure her food. Over the last few months, she's dropped an additional 13 pounds, helping her reach 137 pounds. She reports she has never felt better. She is now in maintenance mode and feels like she has all the tools and knowledge needed to keep the weight off. Her leaving words were, "If I can do it, you can too." And, she shared pictures with us. Her journey is just really dynamic, and I applaud her to do this, especially during COVID and at a time where there was lots of stress and, you could have really thrown in the towel and said, "I'll do this later." This is just a really great testament to determination and making things work for you.
I really love this story. I'm glad Vanessa opened up and shared that. Not just for us, but for us to share with all the teammates, whether it's you started in January 2020, you fell off the wagon, you're still going. You know what, teammates? It's October right now. Do a little bit more today than you did yesterday and set yourself up to be successful. Set your goals. Anything's possible. Just work within your confines of range of motion, working with your provider if you've got certain restrictions, but it's possible. So I'm really glad that you shared this, and thank you, Vanessa.
Absolutely is. And keep in mind too, you bring up it's here and in October, there's still time. If you're interested in getting started on a plan, reach out to our health coaches. They are there to help you. You can set up an appointment with them, and they can help get you to the end of the year, and then, possibly with new goals in mind.
That's awesome. All right, teammates, want to share how you live well? Have your story shared on our next podcast by posting on the Live Well Yammer page using the hashtag #ILiveWell. That's again, #ILiveWell. Share your story. Tell us how you're living well, what changes you've made, whether it's you've impacted, lost weight, become more active, you're finding more time for meditation, mindfulness, whether you've made some changes with your financial picture and you want to share that too. Again, #ILiveWell. We'd love to hear from you and share your story.
Our next podcast topic, we're going to be talking about diabetes, and we'll be airing our next podcast on November 5th.
And don't forget to check out the benefits enrollment site to make your benefit elections. We covered a lot of information. It's not always easy, but we make some really great points, but you've got some great tools out there that are available for you. Also, visit the LiveWell website for more info on managing stress, working with a LiveWell health coach to meet those last minute goals of the year, and then for all things Live Well.
Our resources are listed at the end of the show, and we'll add links to the programs discussed today in the comments on our Streams channel.
Looking for more things Live Well? Not following our Streams channel yet? Search The Well on Streams in Office 365 or find us on the Live Well website to access all our content.
Thanks for listening to The Well today.
Stay safe
and live well.